quarter-final round of President Ava Rolling Trophy Ethics Bowl 2024-25. Hearty greetings to all the dignitaries, esteemed guests, judges, participants, mentors, and the teachers. It is my honor to serve you as the moderator for today's match. I think ma'am can speak.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to Mrs. Mohnish Sidana, Chairperson Schools, Central Ava, Chairperson Schools of all the commands, and our esteemed judges. I also extend a very warm welcome to nodal school principals, teachers, and students representing 6 commands to this quarterfinals of the President Ava Rolling Trophy Ethics Bowl for the academic session 24-25. This event is a testament to our commitment of fostering ethical thinking, critical analysis among our young minds. Yumi है काम तो दिख ही नहीं रहा
Excuse, there has been an observation that somebody has entered with their phone number, that is Xiaomi M210K6P. I request that person to please rename themselves according to the command that they are entering from. Team 1, I cannot see your command name written, beta. You need to have Team 1. There's just Team 1 written. It has to have the command name also written, categorically stated, please. Team 1, can you all hear me? I can see all of you sitting nice and right. Please rename your team. Thank you, beta. Gentle reminder to Xiaomi to please rename yourself. It is a requirement of the match that you have to be according to the name of the command that you represent. We welcome you, Himangi ma'am. Good morning. We request Jiomi to please unmute yourself and switch on your mic as well. We want you to introduce yourselves.
This is ethics quarter final. Okay. So mic mute karo. So what do you
Jiomi, yes, you are.
we are a secondary school, so we are not doing it. Acha. There are allowed participants from classes 9.
You.
Good morning. I'll just rename myself. I'm from Bathinda, and my husband is the chairman, APS Bathinda. Singh could not attend because she's a little busy somewhere else. So that's why I'm attending on her behalf. I'll just try renaming myself.
No worries, ma'am. No worries.
Thank you.
There are 3 ellipses, ma'am, on the top. You can rename from there.
I'll do it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, to confirm, are we audible?
Yes, who's that?
Ma'am, it's Team 1 Southern Command.
Yes, beta. Team
Okay,
1, sir.
thank
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Chairperson, आप हाँ एक बार चेक करा लो.
I request the teams for an audio check. Southern Command, just introduce yourselves. Team 1.
Good morning, ma'am. This is the first speaker of Southern Command. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Good. Good to go. Another.
Good morning, ma'am. This is the second speaker of Southern Command. Am I audible?
You have to, yes, you have to speak your names. I hope you remember, like yesterday we are done. Good
Yes.
morning. I am ABC from Team 1. I am XYZ from Team 1. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, check now. Now, as Southwestern Command, can we have an audio check with you, please?
Good morning, ma'am. This is Speaker One Dhruv Sharma from Southwestern Command. Are we audible?
Absolutely, loud and clear. Southern Command, I want you to check your audio once again, because the way Southwestern Command is, their audio is absolutely emphatic and clear. So we want it to be that way.
Ma'am, are we audible?
It's a little hazy. No, it's not absolutely clear. Come again. You need to adjust. Are you mics and all? You yes, please speak again.
Ma'am, are we audible?
Your voice is cracking in between. Again, can I hear the other speakers? The ones who are sitting on your yes.
Ma'am, are we audible?
Yes, now you are. Now you are.
Good morning, ma'am. Are we audible?
Ma'am, we'll ask our IT team also to check your voice sound quality. Speak again. Southern Command.
Morning, ma'am. Are we audible?
Yes, clear. Good.
Ma'am, are we audible?
Good, good. Now it's fine. Fine.
Okay. Ma'am, are we audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Good morning, ma'am. Is my voice clear?
Now it's absolutely clear. Thank you so much. Thank you, both the teams. Good morning, Miss Ahana. Welcome to you. I request if you could rename yourself according to the command that you represent. Good morning, Miss Ahana. We request you to rename yourself according to the command that you represent.
हाँ उनको बुला लो Team
Dear
one and-
teacher, dear teams, team 1 and 4, we are going to have the draw of lots now as to which team is going to present first. I hope the mentors of the respective commands are also there, because we'll have the draw of lots over here right now for everybody's purview. Kindly give me a thumbs up if all of you are there. The teacher commands are there. So we'll just have a draw of lots so that the teams know which one is going to be presenting first. Okay. Can we have the draw of lots? So this is the bowl that I have with me, and in that I have two chits. Two chits are there. Written the names of team 1 and team 4. Our principal ma'am is going to take out one chit, and that team is going to be presenting first. Please open that. Can you all see?
Team 1.
It is team 1, Southern Command, which is going to be presenting first. Okay. Thank you, children. Welcome, Siva ma'am. Siva ma'am, have you logged in through two devices?
Good morning. No, I'm logging from one only.
Log in from one. I can't. Yes, ma'am. Okay, fine. Now I can see you. Seema. Right, ma'am.
Ma'am, this is
Give-
Lieutenant Seema Chaudhary. I have also connected.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, welcome, ma'am. Okay, we have
Thank you,
Himangi Arora, ma'am, also, our second judge. And we are waiting for a third judge, Miss Anisha, to join. Just give us a moment.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
This is
Yes.
Anisha. Actually, I have joined in from my daughter's ID. My
Okay,
sister.
ma'am, could you, we were wondering who's Ahana. Ma'am, could
No.
you rename yourself?
Actually, my system is it's getting hanged. So if I try something in between, then it would be difficult for me.
Okay, done. So we've got now, so all the three judges are here.
Yes.
Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to all of you. Ma'am, do we have your permission to start? Okay, thank you. So all the teams are here and the judges are also here. I request everyone to please switch on their cameras. Everyone to please switch on their cameras. Thank you. A very good morning to everyone present here. I, Sonali Malik, on behalf of Central Ava and the host school Army Public School Dholakwa, extend a very warm welcome to all of you to the quarter-final round of President Ava Rolling Trophy Ethics Bowl 2024-25. Hearty greetings to all the dignitaries, esteemed guests, judges, participants, mentors, and the teachers. It is my honor to serve you as the moderator for today's match. I would now like to invite our respected principal, Mrs. Meetu Rathore, to deliver the welcome address. Ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to Mrs. Monish Sidana, Chairperson Schools, Central Ava, Chairperson Schools of all the commands, and our esteemed judges. I also extend a very warm welcome to nodal school principals, teachers, and students representing 6 commands to the quarterfinals of the President Ava Rolling Trophy Ethics Bowl for the academic session 24-25. This event is a testament of our commitment of fostering ethical thinking, critical analysis among our young minds. At its core, the Ethics Bowl is not just a competition. It is a celebration of values, integrity, and the intellectual rigor that our students bring to the table. It is heartening to see how our participants engage with complex ethical dilemmas, showing not only their analytical abilities, but also their deep empathy and respect for diverse perspectives. A special thanks to our distinguished panel of judges who bring their expertise and fairness to this competition. Your presence here reinforces the importance of ethics in our personal and professional lives. To the participants, you've already shown exceptional talent and dedication to have made it this far. Today is another opportunity to showcase your abilities, to learn from one another, and to grow as thinkers and leaders. Remember, this is not just about winning. It is about engaging thoughtfully with the issues at hand and upholding the principles of integrity and respect. As we begin the quarterfinals, I encourage everyone to participate with enthusiasm, to listen attentively, and to engage with an open mind. Let this Ethics Bowl be a memorable and enriching experience for all. Thank you, and I wish all the teams the very best of luck. Now I request Mrs. Monish Sidana, Chairperson Schools, Central Ava, to formally declare today's event open.
Ma'am, you're not audible.
Ma'am, you are supposed to.
You're on mute, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Now I'm audible. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of President Ava, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has made his or her contribution in this Ethic Bowl competition. My sincere appreciation to all the regional chairperson schools, SOs, AVAs of respective commands, teachers and students of various Army public schools for their meticulous planning and tireless effort in conduct of this event. Your dedication has provided a platform for our students to deal deeply with ethical dilemmas, fostering critical thinking and meaningful discourse. We are immensely grateful to our esteemed judges for generously sharing their time, expertise, and wisdom in evaluating our participants' presentations. Your constructive judgment will inspire our students to further refine their understanding of ethics. A special thanks to all the participants who are showcasing their analytical abilities and ethical reasoning skills. The national level matches are starting from today, in which teams selected from respective commands will be competing against each other for the coveted trophy. Your enthusiasm and commitment to ethical inquiry will set a high standard for our future competitions. I also extend my thanks to the advisors, principal, volunteers, and support staff of Army Public School, Dhola, whose behind the scene work has ensured the smooth execution of this event today. Thank you and best of luck once again to all the teams, and may the best team win. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring words and for setting the tone for today's event. We also have amidst us an esteemed panel of judges, and I would like to take a moment to introduce and express my gratitude to them for sparing their valuable time and expertise. Ms. Anisha B. Tiwari, our first judge, is a practicing psychologist with over 8 years of experience in the field of mental health. Her expertise lies in addressing the unique psychological and emotional challenges faced by teenagers. Throughout her career, she has successfully guided numerous adolescents through various developmental, social, and emotional issues, helping them build resilience, self-awareness, and coping strategies. She is well versed in various therapeutic interventions like CBT and NLP, to name a few. As an empathetic counselor, she believes in keeping a non-judgmental approach to help foster positive changes in individuals. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Next up, we have Ms. Himangi Arora, an academic evangelist, founder of Nirmuktam Foundation and managing director of Project Swabhiman, aiming at empowering women of the middle class society, making them financially independent, and thereby creating a ripple effect to further handhold other women and bring about a monumental change. She has a wide experience of 15 years and has lent her expertise to many prestigious institutions like Seth Anand Ram Jaipuria, Vanasthali Public School, to name a few. Greetings to you, ma'am. Our next judge is Miss Seema, who is an advocate by profession. She is a gold medalist from the Indian Institute of Legal Studies under North Bengal University in BA LLB. She has also completed her LLM from Panchanan Burman University, Cooch Behar. She is currently practicing in the Honorable High Court at Jalpaiguri and is also a member of the Siliguri Bar Association, Siliguri Court. Hearty welcome to all of you, ma'am. The scoring will be based on the clarity, depth, and ethical reasoning demonstrated in the presentation and responses. Dear participants, you all are well versed with the format and rules of the competition. So without further ado, I would like to set the ball rolling for today's Battle of Wits by reading out the case study given to Team 1, that is Southern Command, and case study given to Team 4, that is Southwestern Command. Dear teachers and mentors, you can all see a timer also that is there, but we also have a teacher who is handling the timer manually, Miss Tanvi, and her decision of the timing will be final and abiding. Now coming to the case study that is being given to Southern Command, that is Team 1, it is Education in India versus Abroad. Studying abroad is an effective way of changing our global perspective. Education is one of the most crucial investments for a student's future. Choosing an education system that enables a student to achieve his or her goals is essential. The cost, interpretation, and mode of education varies from place to place. Education in India often follows a structured curriculum with a strong emphasis on theoretical knowledge. It typically involves a mix of lectures, exams, and assignments. The Indian education system is regulated by various boards and universities, offering a wide range of disciplines and programs. The Indian education system is also more affordable for residents with numerous government funded institutions and scholarships available. In contrast, education abroad, particularly in Western countries, often lays emphasis on critical thinking, practical application, and experiential learning. International uh, the focus is on developing skills that are applicable in real world scenarios. International education offers diverse perspectives and opportunities for networking with students from around the world. However, it would be more expensive in terms of tuition fees, living expenses, and additional costs as well. For instance, one of the most preferable university across the globe, the Kingston University, has stated that students come to their university from all over the United Kingdom and around the world for receiving satisfactory higher education. Shaf Monsa, a law student of Umeå, Sweden, states, I will never forget my time at Umeå University in Sweden. In addition to the valuable experience of getting education in a new country with an unfamiliar language, the friends and contacts I made will remain for life. Many of us meet regularly, and as we progress in our educational careers, we are able to learn from and advise each other. Ultimately, the choice between education in India or abroad is an individual preference depending on career goals, financial capabilities, and cultural adaptability. Both systems offer opportunities for growth and development, but it is essential to weigh the pros and cons of studying abroad before making a decision. The ethical question posed to Team 1 is, how can students endure the cultural shock and ethical issues which emerge from a distinctive environment at universities abroad? Now, I'll read out the case study that has been presented to the Team 4, that is the Southwestern Command. I'll just read it out. For the FIFA Under 17 World Cup to be played at the Salt Lake Stadium in one state, over 1 lakh temporary hawkers and shanty dwellers from the area have been forcefully evicted to make way for the event and also for avoiding the sight of slums for good image of the country. Some of them claim to have been living for 40 years. The eviction seems to be in violation of street vendors, Protection of Livelihood and Regulation of Street Vending Act 2014, as well as the FIFA guidelines, which claim that no eviction drive should be carried out due to the game. They have started protesting even through social media signature petition, which has already been signed by 1,000 people. The petition will be forwarded to FIFA and also the state government. The municipal corporation states that they don't have official documents and had forcefully encroached upon the land. However, the protesters present their voter ID and Aadhaar as proof of their residence. You are the chief secretary of the state, and you are asked by the CM to immediately take appropriate steps to solve the issue, as the protest may mar the image of the country as a host nation. The question posed is, discuss your immediate steps so that the event runs peacefully, as well as human rights of people are also ensured. I hope the case studies are clear to both the teams. Yes, a thumbs up. Great, wonderful. So now we start with the match. So we have Team 1, that is Southern Command, presenting their case first. Are you ready, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, okay. Now, ma'am, could you start the timer once again? 8 minutes, please. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Start.
समृद्ध इतिहास रहा भारत का
उज्जवल सूरज सा चमक रहा। उदाहरित शून्य त्रिकोण में अक्षमिया, ये सुधरू सबको अचंभित कर रहा। जय हिंद आदरणीय निर्णायक गण, शिक्षक समिति एवं मेरे प्रिय प्रतिस्पर्धियों। आज हमारा समूह अपने विचार प्रस्तुत करेगा शिक्षा पे। शिक्षा एक ऐसी कुंजी है जो सफलता के सारे द्वार खोल सकती है, और ज्ञान मानव जीवन का आधार स्तंभ है। ये हमें समझने, निर्णय लेने और दुनिया को बेहतर बनाने की क्षमता प्रदान करता है। और शिक्षा इस ज्ञान को व्यवस्थित रूप से प्राप्त करने का एक माध्यम है। विश्व भर में शिक्षा की प्रणालियां भिन्न भिन्न है, प्रत्येक की अपनी विशेषताएं और अपनी खामियां हैं। अगर हम बात करें अपने देश भारत की, तो भारत में हर जगह समृद्ध संस्कृति और विविधता है, और भारत की शिक्षा प्रणाली मुख्य तौर पे सैद्धांतिक है। भारत में हम ज्यादातर जोर देते हैं लिखित परीक्षाओं पर। अगर हम देखें तो किस प्रकार प्राचीन काल में नालंदा विश्वविद्यालय जैसी अनेक संस्थाएं विश्व प्रसिद्ध थी, लेकिन आज शिक्षा प्रणाली में कई चुनौतियां हैं। उदाहरणवश रटंत विद्या, व्यवहारिक ज्ञान की कमी इत्यादि। अगर हम बात करें पश्चिमी देश की, तो वहां की शिक्षा प्रणाली ज्यादातर छात्र ज्ञान और व्यवहारिकता पे केंद्रित है, परंतु वहां भी ऐसी कुछ खामियां हैं, जैसे उच्च लागत और सांस्कृतिक असंतुलन। महोदया, एक आदर्श शिक्षा प्रणाली वो है जो एक बच्चे को कौशलता सिखाए, एक बच्चे को नैतिकता सिखाए। और अंत में, क्या हम अपनी शिक्षा की बेड़ियों में जकड़े रहकर अपनी शिक्षा पद्धति को ठहरा हुआ तालाब में बदल देंगे, या फिर विदेशी ज्ञान के सागर में गोता लगाकर विश्व मंच पर अपनी विजय का नगाड़ा बजाएंगे?
Your education is a dress rehearsal for the life that is yours to lead. The movement of people overseas for education is morally justified by the principle of individual freedom and the pursuit of personal growth. Every individual should have the right to choose the path that offers the most opportunities for their future. As we saw in the case of Shaf Mansur, education abroad often provides unique experiences and exposure to diverse perspectives, which is crucial for both personal and professional development. Studying abroad also aids in learning new approaches and dealing with cosmopolitan organizations. Western education emphasizes critical thinking and practical application, which is essential in today's globalized world. However, it can be extremely expensive with high tuition fees and living costs, and it sometimes lacks the deep theoretical foundation which is found in other systems. So, at the same time, it is essential to recognize that the Indian education system is also full of opportunities. The government funded institutions and scholarships make education more affordable for the residents, and programs like the Skill India initiative focus on enhancing both hard and soft skills, which ensures that the students are well prepared for the workforce. Soft skills such as communication, teamwork, and problem solving are increasingly emphasized alongside traditional hard skills like technical knowledge. All this also helps address the potential issue of brain drain in India. From this, we can see that both Indian and Western education systems aim to produce well-rounded individuals which are capable of thriving in any environment. So ultimately, the choice between studying in India or studying abroad should be based on individual goals, financial capabilities, and personal preferences.
विद्याम न भाषा कृते सीमा न देश काले संबंध सर्वत्र सर्वदा सदा विद्या प्रकाशते स्वयं. Knowledge has no boundaries of language or region, nor it is tied with time and place. It shines forth by itself everywhere and always. Centuries ago, India was a beacon for students worldwide, largely due to universities like Nalanda and Takshila, a fountainhead of learning. Nalanda boosted a sophisticated educational model covering subjects like alchemy, mathematics, astronomy, and the philosophies of Buddhism and Jainism. This drew scholars all around the world seeking the quench for the thirst of knowledge. Data indicate that the European spends 29% of their annual income to study in an IIT, while an average Indian spends 350% of their yearly income to study in a native IIT. But in studying abroad, there are two setbacks which we have to study. First is of cultural preservation, and second, financial strain. What we can do? To solve this issue, first we have to understand that the Western education is not expensive, but to study in the West is expensive. So we have to integrate the Western model with the ancient knowledge of India so that the practical knowledge is more applicable. The government can take major steps like first integrating with the skill subjects, properly implementing the NEP policies of 2020, enhancing the global partnership. By implementing all these measures, the government can encourage the students to study within the country and attract the global talent as well, thus revitalizing India's status as an educational hub.
Studying abroad is more than just an academic pursuit. It is a profound voyage of self discovery, a quest for knowledge that transcends borders, and a commitment to building a better world. It is a passport to a realm of vibrant cultures where the symphony of human experience unfolds in a kaleidoscope of colors and customs. Here we begin answering the question. Like explorers charting uncharted waters, we may encounter the turbulent current of cultural shock and ethical issues. Yet, within this initial discomfort lies the fertile ground for extraordinary growth. By understanding the host country's culture, customs, and social norms, we are equipping ourselves with a compass of open mindedness, which facilitates a smoother transition and minimizes misunderstandings. Ethics serve as guiding stars in this voyage. Navigating ethical issues is very crucial. Understanding and respecting local laws and values of the host country, even as they differ from our own, is paramount. Scholarships and grants offer us the sails to navigate these issues because financial barriers should not hinder us when it comes to gaining knowledge. We stand on the shoulders of giants like Sister Nivedita and Swami Vivekananda, whose legacies inspire us to bridge cultural differences and foster global understanding. In conclusion, we'd like to mention education is not a destination, it is a lifelong journey. By weaving together the rich tapestry of Indian and international educational philosophies, we are creating a masterpiece of learning that empowers us to shape our destinies. As the ancient Indian philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam reminds us, the world is one family. In this spirit of interconnectedness, studying abroad has become a powerful tool for fostering empathy, understanding, and collaboration.
Thank you, Team 1. Everyone to note that Team 1 has taken 8 minutes, completely 8 minutes to complete their presentation, to present it. Now, Southwestern Command team is going to get 3 minutes to confer, and your time starts now. Okay. Are we starting? So you get 3 minutes to confer. I repeat again, and your time starts now.
Good morning to one and all present here. Um, Good morning to one and all present here. We appreciate the sincere efforts of
Just a
Team
moment,
B.
just a moment, just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So you all are now ready to start? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So your time starts now.
Good morning to one and all present here. We appreciate Team B's sincere efforts, and now we would like to post our views on the same. India is a rich legacy of educational excellence dating back to ancient times. Universities like Nalanda and Takshashila, as mentioned, were prevalent even during the time when universities were not even set up. And even in the modern world, universities like IIT and IIM are competing with the global universities. As brilliantly said by Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon, and we can use this weapon to change the world. So let us wield this weapon to change the infrastructure of our country and to revolutionize our country, that is India. And it is also imperative to consider that studying abroad also comes at a hefty price, often leading to brain strain and financial burden to the families, the Indian families that suffer only because they want to see their child succeed. According to a report by the Reserve Bank of India, the total amount spent by Indian students studying abroad was approximately 12.3 lakh crores in 2019. And according to a report by Ministry of Education, 750,000 students travel abroad for higher education. And out of this, a significant amount of students do not decide to come back and decide to contribute their education and skills to other nations rather than their own. Handing over.
Thank you, Dhruv. It's indeed surprising that we, being both the opponent teams, have the same stance on this case study. I would like to mention that India contributes 3.1% of its GDP to education. And let's not forget that we should focus on the practical education, as education main motive is to acknowledge us practically. Indian texts like Upanishads and Veds also comprise of the contents like mathematics, astronomy, and we should also acknowledge them. Let's not forget the decimal system, the zero, and various advancement in contributions in the surgery were from Indian education. Lastly, we as a team support that the choice of studying abroad or in India should be a personal choice based on the right of choosing it. Thank you for the handing over to Aditi. To Abhinav.
Thank you, Simran. The government's National Education Policy of 2020 aims to increase accessibility and quality. Many scholarships, such as the National Merit Scholarship Scheme, the NSTSC, and many scholar loans, actually help the underprivileged children for better education. The latest budget release that happened 2 days ago also saw a huge increase in the investment for education sector. 3% decrease in education loans and more number of education loans for the children under the age of 16 years. It also led to the removal of angel tax for the improvement in skill sector and allocation of 1.48 crores for skill development. Now over to Aditi.
Thank you, Abhinav Bhaiya. Rabindranath Tagore, a strong advocate for educational reform, emphasized the importance of blending Eastern and Western philosophies, arguing that education should nurture creativity and holistic development rather than solely rote learning. The Orientalist versus Accidentalist debate values interconnectedness of Indian and Western education, advocating a balanced educational experience. So, let us foster a more inclusive and equitable approach to education, where every Indian student, regardless of financial situation, has the right to quality education. As Mahatma Gandhi said, the future depends entirely on the extent to which they, the youth, can be trained to be self reliant and self sufficient.
First of all, I would like to appreciate the efforts of Team One for their presentation. My question to you is: According to the Annual Status of Education Report ASER 2022, only 44% of class 5 students in rural India can read class 2 level text. How can you justify the quality of Indian education system when basic literacy rates are so low? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You're well within time, team 4. I hope team 1 has now understood the question, or do you want the question to be repeated? You've understood it. Great. So you will now get 3 minutes to confer, and your time starts now. Team 4, we request you to post the question. Can your teacher mentor please post your question in the chat box? Or you can send it to us. Yes, you have the chat box. Is your teacher mentor there? Your question needs to be posted in the chat box. Thank you so much. Your time is now up. Time for the rebuttal now. Team 1, please start. Your time starts now.
आपके प्रश्न के लिए धन्यवाद। ये तो हम कब से सुनते आते हैं कि पोथी पढ़ी पढ़ी जग मुआ, पंडित भया न कोई, ढाई आखर प्रेम के पढ़ो पंडित होए। परंतु हम केवल सुनते आते हैं। हमने कितनी बार इसको अपने घरों में अपनाया है। हमें अगर बदलाव लाना है तो वो बदलाव हमें सबसे पहले अपने घरों से शुरू करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि ये भी हम बचपन से सुनते आ रहे हैं कि बच्चों को सबसे पहली शिक्षा उनके घर से मिलती है। तो बदलाव लाने की जरूरत हमें अपने घर से है, क्योंकि अगर हम बदलेंगे तो देश बदलेगा।
Now, before we can actually solve this issue, first we must understand the reasons behind. The biggest and first reason is the lack of infrastructure. Many schools lack the basic amenities such as classrooms, libraries, sanitation, etc., especially in rural areas, which severely affects the education of that particular area. Second is the limited access to technology. Since technology is still quite new to India and we aren't that good in the manufacturing sector, we have a severe lack of technology, especially in education. Then there's a lack, and thirdly, there's a lack of teacher quality. Since the teacher training programs and education still remains weakly implemented in India, we have this lack, we have this deficiency. Fourthly, the inaccess to resources due to the large population in India. India currently ranks as number one in the amount of population the country has. Due to this, there is a severe economic disparity, and most of the country does not have equal access to resources. Lastly, the curriculum relevance in rural areas due to social stigmas. The curriculum is not updated at all, especially in rural areas. Many schools in rural areas do not even teach sex education due to the social stigma surrounding it.
So we cannot define literacy by the ability of the student to answer certain questions, because educational literacy is not only about the ability to answer certain questions, it's about how we implement it practically in our lives. So one of the possible reasons could also be because of the curriculum. The curriculum that is being implemented is probably not the revised one or the new one. Implementation of technology, use of technology can also be a very big factor when it comes to this. Now let's look at let's look at some points which the United States and the United Kingdoms have implemented in their education, which has helped their students immensely. Training for teachers on inclusive practices and special educational needs, emphasis on equal opportunities and removing barriers to learning, resources and guidance for schools to create supportive learning environments, because we do know that there are so many kids who have so many financial issues. This could be something that's hampering their education. Every Student Succeeds Act in 2015 states this. It includes provision for support and intervention for struggling schools and students. This must be highlighted and noted and taken into consideration by our government as well. Promotes equity by requiring schools to address disparities in educational opportunities, because educational rights, every student must have it.
Now, coming to the government approach, it is important that the government should take the major steps at the grassroots level. For example, right to education in 2010 became a fundamental right, but many students are not having that right in real sense. If we see in today's society, there are many children who are working as a child labor. Second most important thing is that there should be the minimum level of learning for every student. We should highlight that there should be the proper teacher training, skill development, flexible curriculum, re-evaluation of the curriculum. Also, the assessment reform should be there. We also have to understand when we are taking inspiration from our constitution is known as a bag of borrows. So why can't a country borrow from other countries? For example, from China, skill of the art assessment. It is an assessment which developed by the China to have the art galleries for the students so they can understand the past. From South Korea, we can take the example of practical based learning, engaging the student in a practical approach.
While it is true that studying abroad has its downsides, such as cost or brain strain, as was mentioned by Speaker 1 of Team 4, we have to consider that nothing is without problems. The Indian education system faces the issue of a cutthroat competition as well, especially in JEE or NEET. By implementing the good aspects of the Western model, we can truly acquire good education even in India and open up countless opportunities for the students. We hope that answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Team 1. You've answered it well and within the time limit. And now we move on to the judges round. I request the first judge, Miss Anisha, to pose a question to Team 1, the Southern Command.
Good morning, all. And I'm really glad that we are discussing this topic here today, because this is the need of an hour, I believe so. Because with your generation, it is very important to understand this concept. So here my question is, how do we measure the quality of education? how do we measure the quality of education? Is it solely based on the curriculum, or should there other factors be involved like cultural exposure, networking opportunities, and how much new things we are learning on day-to-day basis? And the second part of the question is, are there any specific aspect of Western education that can be integrated in our education system practically? Is the question clear?
Yes. Thank you, ma'am, for the question. As you asked about that, what are the aspects and how can we measure the educational level?
Yes.
First, we have to understand that curriculum is important, but the other aspects are also important. Like, for example, culture plays an important role. The teaching of ancient literature is important. It is important in a society that we take all the aspects because education gives us the experience, and the experience is based on interlinking knowledge. So the knowledge should be in such a way that all the students have the holistic development of the abilities. There should be the critical development of the student by teaching all the things in a staging manner. For example, if we are taking example from Kerala, implementing of the gender neutral educational material. This material helps the student to make a approach that the society is working on neutral manner, non on patriarchal, non on matriarchal forms, but the society is working on neutral basis, which can create a just and egalitarian society.
Education isn't just about making an individual capable of acquiring a job. Education changes a person and their personality fundamentally. So education cannot just be measured through the literacy rate of a country or its curriculum. Education should be measured through the use of social stigmas as well, and countless other factors. Social stigmas stem from myths that aren't cleared because of a lack of education. Education clears myths such as teaching sex education can clear many social stigmas surrounding it. So we should measure education through numerous factors and not just curriculum or the literacy rate of a country. Secondly, some of the major field that the Western education is ahead of Indian education system in would be the practical knowledge and the technical knowledge that they impart to their students. India focuses more so on the theoretical aspect, but in recent years, India has launched programs such as the Skill India Mission or the National Apprenticeship Program and implemented a new education policy which is supposed to help with this problem. And we can already see some results in this factor, even though it is quite recently implemented.
So when we talk about the quality of education, I think one factor that really through which we can see if the quality of education is good is the mindset of the generation, the mindset of the people around us. If they are more progressive, if they are able to think along ethical lines, then that means that whatever education we are receiving is good, it has good quality. It's about the maturity of children, how children deal with their surroundings, how they deal with their mental health issues and psychological aspects and all of that. And as my friend mentioned about practicality, yes, that's something that we really need to adopt from Western countries. They teach hard skills. They teach them how to fix appliances in their house. They teach them how to take care of themselves. Independence is a very big factor when it comes, especially to the United States and to the United Kingdom. So South Africa has implemented some things which I think that we should also implement. It emphasizes the need for inclusive education and supporting students with disabilities. I think that is something that can really help us because there are so many backward communities over here that will be beneficial.
महोदया, हमें पश्चिमी देशों से जीवन जीने की कला सीखनी चाहिए। हम बच्चों को उनका निर्णय खुद लेने ही नहीं देते हैं। हम उनको हर चीज पे रोकते हैं, टोकते हैं, हर चीज पे बोलते हैं। तो जिस दिन वो बच्चा खुद निर्णय लेगा, उस दिन हमारी शिक्षा प्रणाली वास्तविक तौर पर आगे बढ़ेगी। और सबसे जरूरी है महोदय, अगर हम देखें तो जो बच्चे गांव में हैं, वो बच्चे बोल नहीं पाते हैं, वो अच्छे से वार्तालाप नहीं कर पाते हैं शहरी बच्चों के जितना। तो जिस दिन वो बच्चे भी शहरी बच्चों के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिला के चल सकेंगे, उस दिन हमारी शिक्षा प्रणाली मुख्य तौर पे आगे बढ़ेगी।
And ma'am, education is about to excel in the field with happiness. But what is happening in the Macaulay system of education is that we are pressurizing the student to do. We are making them clerks. So it is important that the system should in such a way that the pressure on the student must be less. The system should be inclusive. And the things we can take is the first, there should be less pressure. There should be a proper approaching of teaching also. And with this, I hope we answers your question. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, and very well explained. I'm glad that all of you have given such beautiful answer. Here, I would, since you all are so thorough with the topic, मुझे एक चीज और पूछनी है आप लोगों से. What do you suggest about is the language barrier? You understand what I'm saying, right? English and Hindi. So you understand the language barrier, which whatever said and done, it is there in the system. So what is your take about it?
महोदय, आपके प्रश्न के लिए धन्यवाद. महोदय, हम देखते हैं कि हम हिंदी को प्राथमिकता नहीं देते हैं. हम ज्यादातर अंग्रेजी में वार्तालाप करते हैं, पर जब बात आती है हिंदी की, हम हिंदुस्तान के होके ही हिंदी नहीं बोलते हैं. हम खुद हिंदी बोलने से कतराते हैं. तो सबसे पहले हमें खुद हिंदी में वार्तालाप करनी चाहिए. और ये मंच के माध्यम से हम देख सकते हैं कि हमारी जो हमारा समूह है वो हिंदी में भी वार्तालाप कर रहा है और अंग्रेजी में भी वार्तालाप कर रहा है. तो जिस दिन हम खुद इसे अपनाना शुरू करेंगे, उस दिन मुझे लगता है कि हिंदी और अंग्रेजी बराबर से चल सके.
Ma'am, I believe in this particular context, we can take the example of the Belgian model and learn from that. We can take inspiration from that. In Belgium, they had two languages, and at one point there was a lot of social tension and a lot of conflict among those two people, among those two nationalities, since Belgium was still a young nation. So back at that time, the planners and the people who wrote the constitution made proper laws, and they made proper accommodations for both the peoples, both the groups, and through that they were able to find proper social cohesion, and they were able to form good communities and good societies. And a major part, something that played a major role in this was the political representation and the equality there.
Yes, ma'am. We understood that there are many diversity in our country. There are 1,500 languages beside the 23 recognized language in the constitution. So the diversity should be accommodated. It is the best thing of our education and the country that we accommodate all things in such a way that it provides a holistic approach for the student. And also the NEP policy, the National Education Policy is such a policy that is inclusive. It teaches the mother languages of a area. For example, if I'm living in Maharashtra, it is teaching Marathi as well, Hindi as well, and other subjects as well. So it is important that the NEP policies and all the things should be at the grassroots level. Yes, we believe at the higher level there may be the proper development of the educational institution, but at the grassroots level there should be the proper development, because we are not able to see a proper implementation in our system of education. So first there should be a proper reforms which should be strict. And secondly, the last thing which I want to say is the budget. The budget allocation, yes, it is increased, but first we have to understand that budget is not sufficient for the education system. The budget is providing the enough for infrastructure, for the development, but for the education field there should be an increase in the budget.
So we are implementing the 3-language formula where we have Hindi, English, and the mother tongue. So the reason we're doing this is so that we have Hindi for the comfort in our country and English for comfort in the globe and helping us communicate on international platforms. I hope that answers your question, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, very well answered, and I'm really happy with the answer. Congratulations. Sabhi ko बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your question.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now I request Advocate Seema to pose a question.
Good morning to all. Dear students, my question to you is that India being a developing country and having huge number of population, do you think it is possible for India to learn from other developed countries and to increase and westernize its education system in the country itself? Are you clear with the question?
Seema ma'am, we request you to switch on your camera.
Oh, sure, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Team 1, have you understood the question or should ma'am repeat it again?
Understood, but ma'am, there is a one request. Timer is not visible on the screen.
Timer, 5 minutes timer. We are doing it manually, beta. You don't have to worry. We'll let you know.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. As a question asked about that India is a developing country and how in a large population it can accommodate the Western knowledge. Ma'am, in the present time, the education has the quote of nothing is impossible, everything is possible. So India can follow a system in which there should be the stage-wise development of the education, because it is important that we take from the West, because from the experience itself, we can succeed. From the other countries, if we are taking an education system or some schemes of education, it can help in the development of the education system of India. Also, it can help in the development of the student in a holistic approach.
So, ma'am, when we talk about India, our population is extremely large. So we have limited resources. That is a huge challenge which our country is facing at the moment. So I think in this situation, it would be practical for us to take the example of China. A few years ago, China had a huge population. So they had an issue with taking care of all their students and accommodating education for everybody. So they implemented so many policies in their education system, which made all of them which accommodated all the students in their education system and which helped them develop. But now their population is stagnant. But over here now it's India's chance to have to implement all of these policies into their education system so that our education system will also be developed and accommodate large population.
It is worth mentioning here that India's population can be both a curse and a blessing. Yes, this massive population can lead to severe unemployment and other social based issues. But just imagine how large our potential workforce is. For a developing country, this massive workforce can lead to an increase in export and import, to an increase in export and an increase in our manufacturing sector and all of our jobs. As long as we can somehow find a way to educate our youth and increase our workforce into an efficiently working workforce, then we can become a developed nation much faster than any other country on the planet.
महोदया, जनसंख्या एक ऐसी समस्या है जिसका समाधान ढूंढने में हमें बहुत ही ज्यादा समय लगेगा, परंतु अभी हम क्या कर सकते हैं? अभी हम देख सकते हैं कि हम एक ऐसे देश में रहते हैं जहां अलग अलग वर्ग के लोग रहते हैं, जहां मध्यम वर्गीय लोग रहते हैं, जहां उच्च वर्गीय लोग रहते हैं। तो फिलहाल हमें ये करना होगा कि वो जो मध्यम वर्गीय लोग हैं, हमें उनको भी इतनी सुविधाएं प्रदान करनी होगी कि वो उच्च वर्गीय लोगों के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिला के चल सके और वो ये बोल सके और उनको ये पता चले कि राजा का बेटा ही राजा नहीं बनेगा, राजा वही बनेगा जिस अधिकार होगा।
Our government has already implemented many programs such as the Make in India scheme, which in itself covers many aspects about social problems and manufacturing problems, economic problems, and everything. And through the proper implementation of such programs, we can develop our society into a much into a developed nation and eventually optimize our workforce as well. So through this, India's population can eventually become a blessing rather than a curse.
In the Plato's The Republic book, he described that for a king to succeed in his empire is not to just think, but to start and to implement the policies. So it is paramount for us and for the government to westernize the education and return our cultural teaching as well. It is a more to implement, like Nalanda, we can implement there are 64 arts which were being taught in Nalanda University. So some form of art can be revived and can be taught in the school education for the development. And in conclusion, we would like to say that the development should be in such a way that we accommodate all the diversities and thoughts of West and also the cultural teachings of our past. I hope that answers your question, ma'am. Thank you.
Beautifully answered. Thank you so much, dear students.
Thank you, ma'am. With this, we come to the end of the first segment of the competition. We will take a bio break of 2 minutes. Ma'am is just going to put the timer. I hope you all need that break of 2 minutes before we start and come to the second segment of the match. Yeah, 2 minutes, only 2 minutes. The time.
Excuse me, ma'am.
The timer. Yes, please.
Ma'am, we wanted to inquire, are there 3 judges or 2?
There are 3 judges marking, and 2 judges will ask the question.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for the clearing, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, now your time starts now. To meet after 2 minutes. Ms. Anisha to ask the question. Yes. So are you all ready for the second segment of the match now? So I had read the case study for everybody's perusal, but now I'll read the case study once again, which has been given to Southwestern Command. The case study is for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup to be played at the Salt Lake Stadium in one state, over 1 lakh temporary hawkers and shanty dwellers from the area have been forcefully evicted to make way for the event and also for avoiding the sight of slums for good image of the country. Some of them claim to have been living for 40 years. The eviction seems to be in violation of street vendors, Protection of Livelihood and Regulation of Street Vending Act 2014, as well as FIFA guidelines which claim that no eviction drive should be carried out due to the game. They have started protesting even though social media signature petition, which has already been signed by 1,000 people. The petition will be forwarded to FIFA and also the state government. The municipal corporation states that they don't have official documents and had forcefully encroached upon the land. However, the protesters present their voter ID and Aadhaar as proof of their residence. You are the Chief Secretary of the state and you are asked by the Chief Minister to immediately take appropriate steps to solve the issue as the protest may mar the image of the country as a host nation. The question posed to the second team, that is the second team for today, Team 4, is discuss your immediate steps so that event runs peacefully as well as human rights of people are also ensured. You've got it now. Team 4, should we start with your presentation? Your time starts now. You are on mute, Team 4. You are on mute.
Yes, ma'am. Should we restart?
Wait,
Yes,
ma'am, do we restart? The timings, just to give us a minute. Yes, your time starts now.
Thank you for the case study, ma'am. As brilliantly said by Nelson Mandela, when people are robbed of their human rights, they are challenged of their own humanity. Since the dawn of time, a significant concern has arisen in the wake of preparation for the FIFA World Cup. While such international events can boost the economy through job creation, tourism, lead to infrastructure development, and increase global visibility, it is also imperative to realize that without dignity, identity is erased. In its absence, men are not defined by themselves, but under the circumstances under which they are forced to live. In this situation, we believe that human dignity itself is imperative and important for building the image of the country. We now never ever support eviction, and today, tomorrow, and always support re-establishment and relocation, where eviction refers to the forced removal of individuals from their own homes without consent or alternative arrangements. Relocation is a planned and organized process which involves moving individuals to alternative accommodations with their consent, providing support and compensation. Such precedent was noticed during the London Olympics 2012. The Right to Re-establishment and Resettlement Act 2013 also follows its footprints. Now, taking one step ahead, we advocate not only for the restoration of land, but for a means of living. Not only for the recollection of shelter, but also for a means of survival. Ensuring compliance with these steps can help us balance the needs of the event while maintaining the rights of the communities involved. Thank you. Handing over.
Thank you, Dhruv. A dream of mine when FIFA comes true, landing some on cloud nine and some in blue. But remember, there is always a rescue. The pre privatization period laid the foundation of the Public Premises Act 1971, which led to successful clearance of unauthorized encroachments in Delhi. This also improved the public amenities and infrastructure in the Delhi vicinity area. With more specification, the Street Vendors Act 2014, as mentioned in the case study, led to reduced conflicts in Mumbai by providing a legal license to these public vendors. This act goes for a toss in the darkness of eviction, but never ever in the luster of rehabilitation. The FIFA guidelines of 2017, Section 14 Part B, may claim that no eviction should happen due to the game or the event, but resettlement plans when displacement is unavoidable is provisioned with basic amenities for the alternative housing. Many international games, such as the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, 2010 Delhi Commonwealth Games, and Sochi Winter Olympics of 2014, actually relocated and provided better housing for thousands and lakhs of people. Today, our stance may be a road not taken, a road less traveled, but we believe that the woods are lovely, dark, and deep. We have promises to keep, and miles before we go sleep, and miles before we go sleep. Thank you. Now over to Aditi.
Thank you, Abhinav Bhaiya. As rightly said by Thomas Jefferson, laws and institutions must go hand in hand with the progress of the human mind. Today, we face a critical juncture where the dreams and hopes of hosting a prestigious event combine and collide with the ethical and responsible ethical fundamental rights of our citizens. During the FIFA Under 17 World Cup, over a lakh hawkers and street dwellers were evicted, even though it was violating the 2014 FIFA World Cup guidelines and the 2017 FIFA World Cup guidelines. The Slum Areas Improvement and Clearance Act 1956 outlines clear procedure for slum improvement, emphasizing the need for resettlement and provision of alternative accommodation. The Dharavi Slum Redevelopment Project in Mumbai is a prime example of how planned relocation can change residents' life while respecting their rights. The Slum Rehabilitation Act of 1971 and the PMAW also focused on urbanization and affordable housing nationwide. And as according to the international conventions, the UN Community on Cultural, Economic, and Social Rights, it clearly states that forcible eviction is a violation of human rights unless and until it is justified and carried out in the proper safeguards. And of course, Pune's 2019 redevelopmental project highlights the efficacy of fair compensation, designated relocation, and exemplifies the Land Acquisition Act of 2013. So let us not delay. Let us lead by example and showcase how India cares about its image as much as its citizens. After all, progress is not a journey. It is not a destination. It is a journey. And sometimes that journey requires relocation. Now, handing over to Simran.
Thank you, Aditi. As rightly said by Albert Schweitzer, the purpose of human life is to serve, to show compassion and the will to help others. Today, we face the challenge of balancing development with the rights of the most vulnerable. Therefore, we must adopt a compassionate and a balanced approach in dealing with this issue, honoring respect and dignity. Firstly, to answer the first question from the given study, firstly, we must propose an emergency task force consisting of representatives from the state government, human rights organization, and community leaders from all these sections. NASBI also recommends setting support for at least 3 to 6 months of to the families, providing them to rebuild and stabilize. The Indian Constitution of Article 21 also guarantees right to life, which includes shelter and livelihood. The evictions must respect dignity and avoid homelessness. Let's not forget, if resettlements offer better land and better living condition, it should be pursued. The principle of Jahan Juggi, Wahan Makan should be a basic and beacon guidelines. Moreover, we should not forget that relocated people must always, they should favor the moral righteousness and justice. Let's approach this balance with empathy and justice to purge our future. Thank you. That concludes my team stance on this case study.
Thank you, Team 4. You finished your presentation much in time. And now it is the conferring time for Team 1. Team 1, you get 3 minutes to confer. Right? And your time starts now. So time is up. Now it is your time to give your commentary. Team 1, please start. Time starts now.
Let entire be happy for righteousness and justice. Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much to the team for a thought-provoking presentation. We agree with most of the points, but would like to highlight the main point that deserves a deeper reflection. Our team firmly believes the interconnected relationship between the government, local communities, and the non-governmental organizations like NHRC. The government must take proactive measures for the development following the principles of social and economic justice. But it is obvious that there might be the contestation as in the Commonwealth of 2010 when the people were displaced and they were not given the proper basic facilities. Also, it is important that the government can create an inclusive and a holistic environment for egalitarian society.
प्रतिबद्ध हूँ। जी हाँ, मैं प्रतिबद्ध हूँ। बहुजन हिताय सर्व सुखाय प्रतिपल के निमित्त प्रतिबद्ध हूँ। निश्चित ही श्रेय होगा मनुज की समता का विधायक ज्ञान, स्नेह सिंचित न्याय पर न विश्व का निर्माण। आज के समय में हम एकत्रित हुए हैं जहां उत्साह और चिंता का एक जटिल मिश्रण है। एक और हमारे राज्य को विश्व पटल पर लाने वाला फीफा विश्व कप का आयोजन हमारे लिए गौरव का क्षण है। ये एक ऐतिहासिक अवसर है जिसके माध्यम से न केवल हम खेल के क्षेत्र में अपनी प्रतिभा का प्रदर्शन करेंगे, बल्कि राज्य के विकास और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय पहचान को भी मजबूत करेंगे। परंतु इस उत्साह के साए में एक गंभीर चुनौती खड़ी है। हजारों निर्दोष नागरिकों को उनके घरों से निकाल दिया जाएगा। ये न केवल मानवीय संवेदनाओं का घोर अपमान है, बल्कि कानून के शासन और हमारे देश की छवि को भी गंभीर तौर पे क्षति करता है।
It is also important to note here that none of this is FIFA's fault. FIFA's guidelines are clear that no forced evictions should occur due to their matches. In this case, the forced eviction of over 1 lakh temporary hawkers and shanty dwellers from the Salt Lake Stadium area directly violate these exact guidelines. The responsibility for the situation, however, falls squarely on the local government, which has acted contrary to both FIFA standard and its own laws, specifically the Street Vendors Act of 2014. This law was enacted to protect the livelihoods of street vendors and regulate their activities, ensuring that they are not unjustly displaced. The municipal corporation's actions here are highly hypocritical and disregard the basic rights of the affected individuals. Such actions not only undermine local laws but also harm FIFA's image, so as forced evictions directly contradict their commitment to ethical practices.
As the Chief Secretary of the state, it must be ensured that in the long run, India must address the bigger issue of slum dwellers by designating proper areas for low-income housing. India has always been known for its handicrafts and textiles, especially its massive roadside markets that sell locally produced goods like tanta saris, tantha embroidery, terracotta handicrafts, etc. So instead of evicting these street vendors, we would like to turn their unorganized slums into an organized local marketplace such as the Delhi Haat. This will not only serve as an attraction for the tourists, thereby solving government's issues of their country's image, but also help these local vendors earn their livelihood. Through the implementation of all this, we can build a future where development respects the rights and dignity of all citizens. So our question to the team is this. Let's assume a scenario where FIFA is made aware of the eviction done by the government a week before the match. And this is what happened in 2017 Salt Lake Stadium matches. The eviction work is complete and all the damage is already done. Should FIFA oppose this act by banning the country from hosting its matches, or should it continue with the match so that the possible international acknowledgement and economic gain from hosting the match can help the nation deal with the root causes of such forced evictions? We hope the question is clear. Thank you.
Very well commented, Team 1. I hope the question is clear to Team 4. Is it clear? You're on mute, team 4. You need to unmute yourself. Yes.
Miss, apologies for as we had a little network connection. Could you please repeat the question once more?
Definitely. So the question is, should FIFA oppose this act by banning the country from hosting its matches, or should it continue with the match so that the possible international acknowledgement and economic gain from hosting the match can help the nation deal with the root causes of such forced evictions?
I hope the question is clear to you now, team 4. Okay, you get 3 minutes to confer, and thereafter we will meet again and you have to answer the question. Your time starts now.
Unmute हो गया? Sit down. Thank you for the question, Team 1.
Okay, now
Firstly,
just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. You're ready to go now to give your okay rebuttal round. So we start, ma'am. We start the 5 minutes. We get 5 minutes to give their rebuttal. So the time starts now.
first of all, thank you, Team M1, for their enlightening question. It was indeed a very utmost concern. We as a team believe that yes, we will continue the conduction of the matches in those stadiums, as failures are the stepping stones to success. We believe that yes, the mistake was committed, but now we have to aim for a better future and to recognize these mistakes and learn from them. As I have mentioned in my speech in the FIFA guidelines, section 14 part B, which claims that eviction shouldn't happen, but when displacement is not at all possible and unavoidable, then resettlement plans should be engaged. Moreover, many community leaders, NGOs, and policies such as Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Rajiv Awas Yojana can be conducted to provide safe shelter to all these evicted people. And we as a team would not do not want to call them evicted ones, but rather the relocated ones who can have a better future at their relocated places.
Moreover, we should also think that they are getting 4 years, so they have a proper planning procedure. Also, the FIFA guidelines, page number 14, which says the host cities must implement measures to prevent the forced eviction and ensure adequate compensation, resettlement whenever necessary. Also, page 19 of the FIFA guidelines also mentions that FIFA provides mechanism for individual and communities to force grievances related to the human and violations included. So we must engage FIFA and relevant stakeholders, and we should continue the match because they are getting time of 4 years. We are not in a favor of eviction, but in a favor of resettlement. And also, the collaborate with the urban planners. We must create a plan which would help them in overcoming this problem.
I believe most of the points have been briefly elaborated. Moreover, adding on that due to this tragedy, it is imperative to realize the consequences and adversities. So to answer your question simply, yes, FIFA should continue as humans have the great ability to learn from their mistakes. And to do this, income from the event can be utilized for internal affairs. And philanthropists, large businessmen can invest in these events so that money from it can be supplied to various causes and charities. And this can be done to ensure that the stakeholders problems are resolved. Thank you.
An example of when relocation was performed correctly was, as mentioned in my speech, the 2019 case in Pune, where because of industrial development, they had to relocate some people. But rather than evict them, they decided to really relocate them with proper compensation in a proper ethical and legal manner. Another example of this can be the Rio de Janeiro Olympics in Brazil, where again, instead of evicting the people and evicting the local communities, they decided to rebuild the stadium in the first place, which ensured that their livelihoods were not getting harmed.
Finally, I would like to conclude our team stance by saying that we would continue for the conduction of the matches in that stadium. And lastly, I would like to end by saying that we have tried, we are trying, and we will try until we triumph. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team 4, for your rebuttal round. Now we move on to the judges round. I invite Ms. Himangi to ask her first question. Ms. Himangi, can you please unmute yourself and ask the first question to Team 4?
Sure. Am I audible to you?
Ma'am, your video should also be on.
Okay, so am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am, you are. You are.
Am I visible? I'm not very sure. I'm traveling. I'm so sorry.
No, you are visible as well as audible. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So, both the teams, I think, have been doing really well. I congratulate you all, first of all. And coming to the question, you know, when we are talking about the international games, I would like to, ask you people to throw some light on the importance of the understanding that we should have from the perspective of sports education, which will promote the significance much more than the last time or last minute debate on whether eviction need to be done or proper presentations can be prepared well in advance. So I would like you to put some light out of your research work that you have done. Is there anything, any relevant support that you have to mark at the moment on this? What is the role of sports education department or maybe ministry or the relevant bodies in this? Do you think, does this have anything to do with what we are talking right now?
Okay, Team 4, you get 5 minutes to answer this question.
Okay. Thank you for your question, ma'am. It is indeed of the utmost concern. Firstly, we believe that more of such international games should be conducted. I would like to throw some light on towards the recent Paris Olympics being conducted tomorrow, wherein India is not even on the top 20 list of the most participative countries. India has only sent 117 players, whereas countries like US, Japan have sent 500 and 600, huge amounts of athletes for these Paris Olympics. So we can see that due to the less exposure and recognition of these international games in India, less participants are going from India. Hence, we believe that many other ministries, such as the sports ministry, the recent sports minister is Mr. Kiren Rijiju, the internationally solidarity and other organizations can actually help promote them, and through which we can as the saying goes, practice makes perfect. Hence, through these practices and inviting more nations in our country for more international games, we believe such education about sports and relocation of people can be taught to everyone.
Also, ma'am, we should work on our fullest of abilities and we should provide them resources. And as the government's role is to balance the individual's interest with the needs of the nation, we should call for the more games and we should establish a balanced approach while dealing with this issue.
Talking about the benefits of it, international games like these can promote tourism, as I told you, and it can also create job creation for the stakeholders that are involved in this situation. Moreover, it can lead to infrastructure development, increasing the economy of the country and the local economy as well. And it will also increase global visibility and show that yes, this country is able to perform such a hard task that is unable to which is being unable to perform by many countries. And most importantly, it acts as an inspiration to the young players of our country, that get no recognition. They get no inspiration from others. They can get inspiration from this event, the players that they see, the event that they see. And I would like to end by a quote by Robert Frost. And Robert Frost that says, always, always a smaller thing. A smaller thing has a larger significance. Thank you.
Ma'am, moving on, I would like to focus on the latest budget that was released 2 days ago, in which more investment was put into the sports ministry. And moving on, I believe that the investment and the earnings that come from such stadiums can actually help us increase our economy and our local economy of the residing area, which could actually help the people who are being relocated, and the better housing provisions could be given to them.
As mentioned by my teammates, yes, these international games are very important, and the conduction of these international games are very important as well, because not only do these international games promote sportsmanship and international solidarity, they also promote a way in which the money generated from these games can be used in internal affairs and boost the nation's economy. Now, I would also like to mention the Sport Infrastructure Authority, which is an authority responsible for the building of stadiums in India. This ensures that if any stadium or any other sport-related infrastructure building has to be done, it is first approved by this authority to make sure that no illegal acts are conducted. And of course, the environmental impact assessment, which is another assessment conducted before anything or any other building activity is conducted, to make sure that this infrastructure development will not harm the precious resources we have, the precious land we have, the precious water we have, and the precious air we have.
Ma'am, now I would like to quote the example of states of Haryana and Punjab, where the investment in sports was so huge that 79%, sorry, 79% of the people in our Olympics are from Haryana and Punjab. The famous example being Neeraj Chopra. And finally, I would like to end by saying that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. Thank you.
Thank you, children. Ma'am Himangi, I hope you've got your answer.
I'm really glad to listen to these children. I'm really happy, and I literally congratulate you people on your research work. And I'm sure there is a lot of effort from the educators who have been supporting them. It's good to see you all. Thank you so much for making me see this. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for your question. Now I request Miss Anisha to pose her question.
Uh, well, Team 4, my question is based on the public perception here. Since we are talking about the eviction of residents from a particular place to conduct a bigger event. So here my question is, how important is the international image of the country as compared to the well-being of its citizen? That's the first part. And the second part of the question is, what can be done to balance the need for a positive international image with ethical treatment of its residents?
Ma'am, I would request you to please repeat the first question.
All right. It's how important is the international image for the country as compared to the well-being of its citizen?
Thank you for the question, ma'am. We as a team believe that the image of a country and the well-being of citizens go hand in hand and are basically the opposite sides of the same coin. Without one, the other cannot exist. Hence, we believe that both of them should be considered, and policies, law and order, and policing should be made stern, and protection for the people who are being relocated. And at the same time, uh, making a country is improving and refurbishing a decorating a country's image is also an important at this point of time, where India is a peak in its where India is at peak in its geopolitics.
Furthermore, ma'am, the image of the country is related to this infrastructural development, which leads to the economic growth and also the number of slums going down and the poverty ratio going down. But ma'am, we also believe here that image of a country is most crucial, but we are not in a favor of forced eviction. We are not in a favor that a country's image should be there and the people in the slum areas should be avoided or they should be neglected. We are in a favor of a resettlement wherein they should be provided with the better living condition and better land opportunities.
Ma'am, I would like to quote the example of Iraqi eviction process, which happened in the 1990s, wherein due to the war, many of the Iraqi population was disturbed and their houses were brutally demolished due to the war. But ma'am, this actually led to the bad reputation of Iraq, as they couldn't provide better housing or better relocation for the disturbed victims. But in India, we have learned from this mistake, and many other slum projects, such as in Chennai, there is a scheme called as Rajiv Awas Yojana, through which many people who were living in slum were relocated to a very good apartments, which I personally have seen. So, and then moving on, we can also see the 2001 tsunami, wherein a lot of victims' houses and property, livelihood was destroyed. But the Tamil Nadu government stepped up, and the central government, they worked together for better housing and took care of this population in a very efficient way.
Also, ma'am, the Article 21 also enhances the right to life. There should be a right to life in both shelter and also in livelihood. There should be public awareness campaigns which should be held, and there should be transparent. The entire process should be transparent throughout.
Ma'am, I believe most of the points have been added by my peers. Moreover, I would like to add on that yes, the main image of the country are its people itself. And as mentioned by Nelson Mandela in its speech, the country may have gems, it may have assets, it may have the best quality of diamonds, but the real assets are its people, us. We are the real assets. And we can take the example of Japan. Japan heavily invested in human capital, which made it the third most developed economy as of 2011. Thank you.
Ma'am, I would like to present a case of Kerala, wherein it was Firstly, it actually added to the bad reputation of the state. But later on, the case is called the Mulampalli residents versus the High Court of Kerala, wherein the residents of Mulampalli were asked to evict due to many land and other project related issues. So many of the times there were unnotified or illegal immigrants that were staying there, who were covered under the project term persons plan, which was set by Akash Jha, who is the president of town planners in India, who rightly said that there are two types of people who live in a place. One, the legal inhabitants, and other, the illegal ones. Legal ones are the ones that we give the compensation, consent, and the warning notices. But we also care for the ones who stay there illegally, and for them, we have the project term persons plan, who through which we give them temporary relocation and a better housing after a certain point of time.
Ma'am, the airport area near the Hyderabad International Airport, 1,000 families were relocated with proper compensation. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, very well researched, Team 4. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, thank you, Team 1 and Team 4, for putting up such a brilliant show. Your presentation, commentary was spot on and bang on. Thank you very much. And my compliments to you, your teachers, and your mentors. And with this, we come to the end of the first match of the quarterfinals. The result for the match will be declared tomorrow after the third match is over. And we will start with the next match at 11 o'clock, 11 or 10:45.
10 minutes are there. I hope it's okay with the judges.
Judges,
Judges, we will have 10 minutes break and we just start at 10:45, or you want 20 minutes break?
Seema ma'am, Himangi ma'am.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We can start within 10 minutes.
Okay, then we'll start because we have given 10 minutes.
I would request you,
yes, ma'am.
or as you people can.
You want
I
it
think
20
it would
minutes?
be
We
good
start at
for
11,
me
ma'am?
if it can be started at 11.
Right, ma'am, we start.
Fine with us. Fine with
We'll
us.
start at 11, but before we disperse, we are going to have the draw of lots for the second match. I hope Northern Command and the Western Command are here. Northern Command and Western Command, are you here?
Please
For the
switch
draw
on
of
your video.
Beta, Southern Command and Southwestern Command, you can switch off your videos now. Switch off your videos. Thank you so much. God bless all of you. Northern Command, and we have Northern Command and we have the Western Command. Other teams here.
Or once they log in at 10:45, we are going to do that then.
We can do it, ma'am.
We'll do at 10:45 and 11 o'clock we'll start the match.
Yes, ma'am. We'll do
We're
that.
given 10:45
Yes.
time then. Thank you.
We'll end the meeting now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Join again at 10:45 just for the draw of lots, and thereafter the match will start at 11 o'clock. Thank you.
All right. All right.
Thank you.